Welcome, friends, to Unlocked 309. It is the world's #1 Xbox show, pre-Gamescom edition. Hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about next week, because this week, not so much. But coming up, we do, in fact, have one important topic that affects everybody with an Xbox, and that is Microsoft looking to, quote-unquote, fundamentally change how they approach achievements. So we'll talk all about that coming up, as well as how you can get it in on the Insider program to get dashboard preview updates, Ubisoft opening a new studio in another new country, and a new game that may sound a little familiar, but it's just a random new game that none of us had heard about till today. Just got announced out this fall. We'll talk about that. So I'm Ryan McCaffrey. Sean, the Shark Man.
Chop, chop. It's been a while. Thank you for having me back.
Yes. Glad you're here. Brendan Tyrell also.
It's been a long while.
Coming off the bench.
Yeah,
I like it. And Marty Sleva, him too.
It has not been a while.
No.
1 week.
It's been a long week since.
Yes. It's hard to believe.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're actually recording early this week because of our IGN show on Disney. They got the whole place, every video asset, every producer completely tied up. So this is all we could do. Therefore, a lot's going to happen this week. But no, actually, theoretically, it shouldn't.
It should all happen next week.
It should be pretty quiet leading into Gamescom, which we'll talk all about on next week's show with whatever. Microsoft is having a briefing. It's going to be noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. That's this Sunday, August 20th. So you're going to want to tune into IGN for that. We'll be carrying it, as well as, in fact, these same lovely people right here. We're going to do some predictions that'll kind of a pre-show that's going to run right before that stream starts. So tune in about 11:45 Pacific or whatever, 2:45 on the East Coast. So look out for that. Guys, I wanted to start first with the big story that we do have this week, and that is friend of the show Mike Ibarra from the Xbox executive team saying that Microsoft is looking to, quote, fundamentally change the concept of achievements. He was speaking to Windows Central website, and he says that his team is, quote, working towards a bigger, more meaningful change about somebody's gaming accomplishments in history as a gamer on Xbox. We can do a lot more to reflect and let people show their gaming history and their status. Whether it's somebody who only plays multiplayer in Halo 5 at a professional level, maybe they only have 2,000 gamer score, you want to be able to celebrate that person. And he says, we're going to go big in the area of letting people show off and represent their gaming history and the type of gamer that they are, far more than we do with gamer score. What do you guys think this is going to look like? What are we talking about here?
I mean, it's interesting because fundamentally, achievements haven't really changed in the past 12 years.
Yeah.
I mean, since the 360 launched.
Yeah. Everybody they were the coolest new thing in 2005, and now everybody does it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the same thing on Sony's side. Like, trophies really haven't changed since PS3. And so it is interesting them saying this. The thing I've always wanted is somehow being able to cash in gamer score for something, whether it be
was the dream, right?
Yeah, whether it be just like currency on the Xbox store or a game or even like a skin for your avatar or something.
That would be great.
It always kind of surprises me that they haven't done that.
I mean, the more you play the platform, the more you're incentivized to continue playing on the platform.
Yeah, or even like tying, like you were saying, like a T-shirt for your avatar to a specific achievement. Like the Halo, the 7-7 one comes to mind, right? Like really difficult achievements to get, where you have to play on the 7th of July in order to get this achievement. Like that nets you a T-shirt with a 7 on it, something like that. Not quite cashing in for the marketplace, but something similar.
From what they're saying here, it sounds like that's the direction they're going, is for particularly difficult things that there are going to be some sort of cosmetic way to show off to people, whether it's emblems or something on your avatar itself.
Yeah.
As long as it remains cosmetic, I'm mostly all right with that.
Yeah.
What I don't like is kind of incentivizing people who play on the platform a lot with like monetary rewards. Like you can buy a game with those points or whatever you achieved.
Why don't you like that?
I don't know. I feel like it puts people at a financial disadvantage or a time disadvantage. Like the older you get, the less time you have, the less potential you have to earn enough points or whatever it is to spend on games that other people might be able to get. I just don't like an uneven playing field like that.
It's like for me anyway, it's to relatively speaking, younger, more time, less money.
Yeah.
Older, and then it just goes the other way. It's always in balance.
I can afford games.
I'm all right
I just
with
don't
that.
have the time.
Exactly.
That's all right. It's good for your character to not have money when you're young.
Yeah. Everyone should be poor for a little bit.
Gotta earn it.
It builds character.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think this is gonna be like?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like maybe some sort of badging on your profile. Like
That's
you might have
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, like I could see them even letting you change the font or color or just the actual everything about who you are in that digital space. Not just the avatar, but even your actual like name and like they've dipped their toe in the water on this already. Like with the how many years you've been an Xbox Live Gold member, and it's like a different shape and cool thing. Like I have the coolest one because I go all the way back to the day one thing. That's which is like, and it's kind of neat. Like I'd be like, yeah, check that out.
Yeah,
that's pretty sweet.
So how long? What was that? 15 years?
It's now. Well, it's November 15th, 2002. I'm thinking of the beta.
Yeah, it's about to be 15.
Yeah, so it's coming up on 15 years. So it should be a 14 on there right now.
That's
Xbox already kind of dipped their toe into this as well, but there is a showcase on your profile which you can choose to assign achievements into, and it shows like it displays up to 5 of them. If they made that a little bit more
pronounced,
more pronounced, and then the badge it was like a badge, not like basically the Xbox equivalents of trophies.
Yeah.
You could pick and choose which ones to display in there, and they were more indicative of kind of your achievements in game. I think that'd be a cool way to show off, because I've actually run into a lot of people like this who they have like 200 gamer score, but then if you click into their service record on Halo 5, I play a lot of Halo 5 still.
They have 12 million kills.
Yeah, like huge amounts of kills. They're really, really good at that, but you wouldn't know it by looking at their Xbox profile. You have to look at their service record, and I can see where there's a little bit of dissonance in that.
So it basically gives you like a digital trophy case to say these are the ones that define me as a gamer.
Yeah.
You can check out my top 5 ones.
Yeah, and at any point you could switch them in and out. And like if they were more relevant, I know that developers, I don't know. I mean, I think it'd be really cool if the milestones were really relevant towards the type of player that you were. Like if you were a multiplayer only dude in Halo, it was like not just an hours one, but a kills one, and like a weapons one. Like I'm a battle rifle expert or a sniper rifle expert, or like you think it'd be funny, like I've died more than anyone else or something like that. It'd be really funny. Cool.
Getting back to what you were saying about this, Marty, that what immediately came to mind, even though it's not quite an apples to apples comparison, was 1 versus 100.
Yeah,
because that was it's the only time. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going off of memory here, but I believe it is the only time in Xbox history where you could actually play a game and win money.
Yeah.
Microsoft points. I remember there's one. I won $1. I got, because it was a random draw if you got to be the 1 or even in the mob, the 100 mob. I got to be in the mob. I think just the once, and ended up I won $1, and I think it was. I feel like there was something else attached to it too. But yeah, it was like that 80 points.
Yeah.
80 back, but back when it was Microsoft points.
Yeah.
And for those of you
young, when it wasn't to $1,
$10 gives you 800 points or something.
Yeah, 80 points to $1.
Available now for 240 Microsoft points.
Once you bought Microsoft points, you never ever had zero balance ever again.
No, it was impossible.
I mean, that was the goal, right? To make sure you always had something in your account, so you're like, I might as well just add some more in there.
It stayed like that for an absurdly long time.
A little too long.
Yeah. Too long.
But yeah, that was, you could actually do that in 1 versus 100. R.I.P. Phil, bring it back. Come on. Well, that should be the next thing we champion after. Well, I guess we got Banjo 3 on the list.
Yeah.
We have
Bring back Fable.
Blinks. That's the one I was blanking on just for a second there. Blinks is on the list.
And then one versus 100.
And 1 versus 100.
Fusion Frenzy. Come on.
One wants Fusion Frenzy.
No.
What are you talking
about? Get back in the producers.
wants
Get off the show.
Fusion Frenzy
Go.
is awesome.
No, it's a bad game
No.
for bad people.
Maybe 3 or 4 of those of the 60 or however many games were really cool.
Well, then guess what?
3%.
Yeah.
It's one of the 2 original Xbox backwards compatible games announced so far. So
there
have
you
fun
go.
playing it on your Xbox One
Sean's
again.
have his one-man 24-hour
No
live
one
stream.
can beat me at that screw game where you have to run up the screw and dodge
I'll bet
things.
you don't even have the disc anymore.
I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
He doesn't love the game. He doesn't even have the disc anymore.
my OG Xbox got lost in translation, man.
Yeah.
No, I know how that goes. It's unfortunate. All right, let's move on. I wanted to note, a lot of people have tweeted me wondering, like, oh, I want to get in on these dashboard updates, the early access stuff. Microsoft has made it. It used to be they had to invite you, and then like you could, if you were in, you could invite people. Now they've just said, forget it. Come one, come all. If you want to opt into this, anyone can join the Xbox Insider program, formerly known as the Preview program. It's split into 4 rings. So there's the Alpha ring, the Beta ring, the Delta ring, and the Omega ring. Omega being the outermost, and that's the one that you can, anybody can opt into. And then if you're useful to Microsoft, if you're a humble bug reporting soldier, they might let you up into the higher tiers. After that, that gets you access to earlier things. But again, user beware. Early things don't always work like final things do.
Yeah.
So, like I'm still not in the insider thing.
Yeah, neither am I. I don't know. I'm not particularly interested in free Q&A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, I don't know. That's. I'm not trying to be cynical.
No,
but just,
I get what you mean. It's just like you just want to turn on your console and use it.
Yeah.
So you'll just wait, and I feel the same way. Just wait till it's officially released, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But when getting back to 4 old guys sitting around the table at this point,
Hey.
when I was young,
You're one of the
30 yet?
oldest.
I'm 30.
So welcome to the club.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Like I remember, I used to, when in my teenage years, I was going nuts I would install the pre-release Windows versions because I was a big PC gamer back then. Like the Windows 98 early build was called codename Memphis when they used to codename them after cities. And I remember like it was, and I knew like anything could go wrong and my whole system could get totally jacked and I'd have to format the whole thing and start over. But I just wanted to see wanted to see what it looked like before it was out. And so I totally get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm just too old at this point. I'm fine. Wait for the final. I'm like that with early access games too. I respect the heck out of people who pay the money early and they become an active participant in the community and helping to give feedback on the game. I'm just like, I'll play Ark Survival Evolved at the end of the month when it comes out.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody who has helped the developers work on it for the last 2 years in the early access.
I mean, you see something like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which is one of the biggest games in the world.
That's a great
That's still in
point,
early access.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a sense of community in there when you get in early.
Very
right?
true.
Like Rust, back when that was the big thing. Man, I loved jumping in there and just like reading the change logs and having these emergent stories. Like Mitch and I would talk about it and just, oh, what happened? Well, I got hunted by a group of men and they found me and murdered me. And then my game crashed. And I was like, oh yeah, mine too. Cool. So there's this awesome sense of like anecdotal community involvement.
Absolutely.
That is in there. But I'm with you, man. Like, we all talk about the never-ending backlog now, and there's just too many things to do for me to spend time on something that might crash at any moment, or
and is going to get better later.
Yeah, and and I'll be able to experience it in its fullest later on. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm in the same boat with you.
For me, it's dependent on what the changes are. So I am in the preview program, and most of the time, like I think only 1 or 2 of the times have I actually opted to try out the changes that are coming, because it actually gives you an option like to activate the build or not when you're in it, or you can just stay on the current stable whatever.
At least you're given the option.
Yeah, I think the last time I activated it was when they redid the whole UI for the Xbox, and it was supposed to be way faster. And I was like, I do want to try that.
So have you tried the
No, this was
one?
This was like last year. Like
so
the last
yeah,
one
now
that they
now
did.
the new one's up for,
Yeah.
for Insider.
Yeah, and like I'm a little less interested in it. It comes down to like the feature set. Like we were dealing with at that point when I tried the preview program the last time or activated the build, it was very much like the architecture was a little bit, or the architecture of the OS and the display and the UI was a little bit slow and a little unwieldy, and you couldn't really find things.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of changes coming to the new build, which we're currently on, that looked really awesome, and I was very excited about that. And so I wanted to jump in and give it a try. This time I'm less interested in that because I think the current one works pretty fine. So it comes down to the feature set. If there's some awesome new feature or functionality that I really want to try, that's in the preview build, I'm the type of person who gets excited about that stuff and is willing to go in and give their feedback to make it work better. But if not, then I'm less
Well,
interested.
Major Nelson did post a little sort of walkthrough video of the new UI, the new dashboard, and even in its current state, it looks like it's very zippy. It's very quick. Some people have had complaints about sort of how they're utilizing the real estate, but I'm eager to get in and try it. It looks like it's definitely a big change.
Cool.
Some people have complained online that, I know people complaining online. Who does that, right?
Shocking.
That it's like, oh, they just changed it recently. I don't want to change it. But it's like, well, do you want them to make it better, or do you want them to just wait 6 months arbitrarily? Like, no, make it better.
Yeah, like at some point, Windows upgraded to Windows Millennium, and we left it there for like 10 years, and like would have loved a real quick change after that.
Yeah.
Well, thank God for Windows XP.
Yes. Bringing it back. Do we have a tentative launch window for this, for a public push?
I'm not sure. I would presume it's going to be timed around or slightly before the X. They'll want to have it publicly rolled out by then, so that people that bring home their Xbox One X get this new dashboard experience.
Yeah, because the last big one was right after GDC. I think it was March or April, so that would make sense. About 6 months after that.
Remember way back when there used to be, it was the spring update and the fall update, and there would be like tons of features packed into each one.
Yeah.
But now it's better this way, where it's just an ongoing, almost usually monthly update.
Yeah.
It's smaller changes typically, but it's just always improving. Which is
it's
fantastic.
also more reflective of like the time that we live in, like iterative small updates all the time, as opposed to giant patches like twice a year.
Yeah, very true.
Bring back the blades.
Yeah, seriously, I'm all for it.
Blade system for life.
You think you want that, but you really don't.
It was the
I miss them.
this is random. The lead sound designer on Oxenfree was
Where are you
the
going
sound
with this?
designer. He made the blade noises.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Which I like. I love those noises. They made all sorts of.
I love Marty does the blade sounds.
Yeah.
And I love how fast you're scrolling.
Yeah,
there.
it was great.
You're
Oh, yeah, I went real quick.
Zipping from
Yeah.
marketplace to
Yeah.
games to media. You're blowing through the blades right there.
Yeah. And then he made Spooky Island hipster noises for Oxenfree.
Think about that. That shows you where we're at in terms of the tech. Like there was a media tab where you could like listen to your CDs.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I wonder. I would have to think that somewhere at Microsoft campus there is like a room, almost a museum of sorts, where there's builds of every major OS
UI,
from Windows and then from Xbox as well, like original Xbox and then all the 360, the blades to the NXE. To the one after that, and on up Xbox One. And I hope that room exists.
And then there's the Zune just on one sad column.
Kill me.
With a single light down on top of it. You guys remember that?
That might be my favorite joke in all of Guardians 2.
Oh yeah.
It's a Zune. It holds 3,000
Everyone on Earth
songs.
is using it these days.
3,000 songs?
What was the thing? What was the unit of measurement for the original Xbox? Was it blocks?
Yes, correct. Good memory.
Everyone had
50,000 plus
You
blocks all
yeah.
the time.
How many blocks is that? You'd install a game that you thought was huge, like
And you still had 50,000 plus?
Didn't
or
matter.
it was like 1,000 blocks. You're like, cool.
Well-
Then you install a game that you thought was tiny, and it's like
You're like, what is a block?
1,000 blocks.
Considering,
Okay.
well, you couldn't install games, so you were really only dealing with save
Saves,
files,
yeah.
which are inherently smaller. But you were dealing with an 8 gigabyte hard drive. So a block must have been a really tiny unit of measurement.
Like there was at least 50,000? Yeah. That's a kilobyte, yeah.
So Phil, here's a test. We like to test to make sure he's still listening from time to time. Tweet me and let us know if that room exists somewhere where you can go look at every major iteration of every Microsoft operating system ever. I want to know. Yeah. And if it doesn't exist, it should exist.
Yeah.
You mean like a physical thing?
Yeah,
I'll bet
why
you
not?
like
It'd be cool.
I'll bet you like builds exist of it on engineers' laptops and stuff. But like you want like a museum where you can
Yeah, where it's preserved,
booted up
for-
on a machine. Yeah, okay.
Because if it's on some engineer's laptop, it risks being erased at some point for.
Nothing is
A
erased
million
on the
different
internet
reasons.
these days.
Yeah.
Well, it's not on the internet. It's on Microsoft's
But like
private servers.
their internal, their intranet. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really like the idea that you need like clearance level 9 to go into that museum.
Oh yeah, like thumbprint access and
It's a room from at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. Feels like I can neither confirm nor deny.
right. All right, let's move along here. Ubisoft making a little news this week. They've announced that they are opening a new studio in Stockholm, Sweden, home of developers such as, namely, DICE is the sort of, they rule the roost out there. They have appointed, Ubisoft managed to poach Patrick Bach, former EA DICE manager, to lead that studio. Had he left, or did he go straight from? I don't remember hearing.
I don't
of him
remember
leaving
DICE.
I
feel like he's big enough to where we would have wrote that up.
Exactly. Yeah. So I wonder if Ubisoft just made him an offer I couldn't refuse. Yeah.
That was Vito Corleone.
Right. For you youngins.
Yeah.
So, according to a post on Ubisoft's official blog, they'll be called Ubisoft Stockholm.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. And they're going to work with Massive Entertainment, who's also located in Sweden.
Yeah, they're in Malmo.
Yeah, and they're of course the developers of The Division, and now they're working on James Cameron's Avatar: The Game.
I have a hot take. That video game's never going to come out. That is never going to be a real game.
They have said it will not be out until at least 2020.
Wow.
Is that when the films, Sean?
Those movies are also never going to come out.
The Avatar sequel is slated for 2019 right now.
And there are 4 of them?
And there are 4 of them.
And then 3 is 2020, and then 4 is
Yeah.
2022, and then
Something
5
like
is
that.
2023, I think.
Yeah.
So there's like a year
those
off
movies are
between
So
the two.
I know that Avatar made
They will, of
a
course, come out.
record sum of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
But was anyone really besides like a movie
Max.
studio executive anyone besides Max Scoville looking for Avatar 2, let alone 3, 4, and 5?
I mean, here's the thing.
Probably James Cameron.
He's got more money than God at this point.
He's
though.
got the two highest grossing films of all time.
Like
Titanic
3
and
or
Avatar.
4 of them. I mean, that's the thing is
T2?
like everyone says like, you know, when Avatar came out, the world was different. We didn't have like Marvel's cinematic universe wasn't in full swing. There was kind of like a vacuum for action movies, and it came in and filled that space, and that's why it grows so much. I don't know, man. Don't bet against James Cameron. The dude has hit it out of the park literally every single time.
I mean, that's fair.
Don't bet. Like, I guarantee you, everyone's like, we don't need Avatar 2. And then the moment we see that trailer, everyone's like, Avatar 2. Avatar
What's
2.
blowing my mind is they're already making like Avatar themed amusement parks.
It's
Or-
open
or-
at the Disney Animal
Oh, it's
Kingdom
already
in
open?
Orlando.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And
it's
now,
there.
that's not to say, like, I don't remember the main character's name or what the
Yeah.
planet's called.
Pandora.
Pandora.
Yeah. Or what.
Blueville.
Basically, yeah. They're,
Smurf Village.
They were mining for unobtainium.
yeah.
That's right.
So terrible.
That's right.
Gosh. There's a lot wrong with that franchise that makes it maybe not seem like the proper candidate for a franchise, like in a connected universe and theme parks and stuff. I totally
ACU.
get that. But just, I don't know, man.
Sorry.
Yikes.
It's happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
Does that mean Sam? Are we gonna have to hear Sam Worthington's name more?
Yeah, like what happened to
I
that
thought
dude, too?
I thought we all agreed as a society that he's done.
I mean, the last
he was
movie
great in Black Ops 1, Call of Duty Black Ops
After
1.
yeah.
after Wrath of the
he was
Titans.
great in the phone. Wait, was that movie? No, Man on Ledge.
Yeah, Man on Ledge. The phone booth
Aptly
was,
named for the main character who stands on a ledge the whole movie.
like you're
Thrilling drama.
You're going to talk about Phone Booth, right? With Colin
Yeah,
Farrell.
Colin Farrell. I got him
who
briefly
spends
mixed
the
up for
entire
a second.
movie in a phone booth.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I saw Avatar in the theater in 3D, and I was like, that was an incredible visual experience.
Sure.
Yes.
And then I never needed to see the film again because I didn't think the movie was that good.
It's not. That whole second act has.
Oh, the last
Does
45
anyone even
minutes.
remember it?
No.
Like nothing happens. They run
Anyway,
around in the
so
jungle for a
Avatar
long
the
time.
game, what's that going to be?
Dude, I'll bet you it's timed with the sequel, and I don't know. We've had like back in the day, licensed games used to be like unequivocally bad.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
across the
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
But
I
we've
mean,
had really good ones
Ubisoft already
recently.
made a bad Avatar game.
Yep.
That's
There was a
right.
bad Ubisoft Avatar game that came out alongside the movie.
Really?
Yeah.
So maybe this isn't even just like a recent development, but I mean, recently we've had like AAA big time developers take on licenses and knock them out of the park,
Yeah.
and that's really cool.
Yeah,
so
they-
maybe there's hope.
I mean,
is
Crystal
all I'm
B is
saying.
doing Avengers. So
Yeah.
Maybe we got
That's
an
right.
Insomniac Spider-Man coming
Yep,
out. That
That's
looks
very
really
true.
awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting I know we're just kind of veering off on a tangent here, but the arc of licensed video games, they went from pretty good in the 80s as NES games. Like there was some good Aladdin, well, it was a Genesis game, and I guess Super NES as well, but that was great, and there were a handful of other ones.
Ninja Turtles.
Sure.
Controls are good.
And then, in the sort of 2000s and that generation, They were unequivocally terrible.
Yeah.
They were farmed out for the cheapest contractual rate to whatever developer would take on a project for that little amount of money.
Well, I think movie
horrible.
studios saw that video games were a profitable business and took that opportunity simply just to market it,
But
to make
then-
extra dollars off their IP, and didn't really think about the games being good.
Well, yeah, you make a budget game and then let the license sell it.
Yeah. But then that ended. Like, I remember when The Dark Knight did not get a licensed tie-in game. And I was like, that is weird.
Yeah. And then
Like,
going
this
forward,
is-
a majority of the MCU didn't get one.
Yeah.
Batman Begins had one.
Yeah.
EA Montreal, I believe, made that game, and it was okay.
Yeah. But
And then
Dark Knight was around the time that Arkham was going strong, right?
Arkham, it hadn't quite, that was 08, and I think Arkham 1 was 09.
Yeah.
I believe. So,
Maybe they saw the
They-
runway
they
for
may
Arkham
have.
Asylum and
but
wanted to steer clear.
But anyway, so we went to no licensed games practically anymore until movie studios and publishers found out about these.
Yeah.
And then they became
Smartphone
cheap,
cases.
horrible. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I was about to say, for those listening, Ryan picked up his phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. I should remember that 99% of the audience.
Wait, what is he referring
It's a
to?
visual
There's
medium.
a camera in front of me. What do you want?
Yeah.
And then we got all the licensed tie-ins on phones, and I guess to an extent that's still happening. But yeah, you're right. Now we're starting to get publishers and IP holders, movie studios taking these IPs much more seriously and investing a lot more money into them.
Well, it's just a more holistic approach to what your brand is, like multi-medium, right? Like before, people, like I genuinely think people in Hollywood didn't think anything of video games. They saw that they were making money, but they didn't think that if our brand exists as a terrible video game, then it won't affect the movie's ticket sales and stuff. Where nowadays, like all of our media is so connected that, yeah, if you do, like I genuinely think that the best Walking Dead is the video game, and that helps elevate the whole brand across the board. So you want that type of thing.
Then we had our strange, isolated examples in history where something like the Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay.
Yeah.
Better than the film.
Way better than it
Way
deserved
better
to
than
be.
the film.
Whoa, wait a second.
Yes.
Okay.
Including Pitch Black.
Pitch Black is pretty cool.
Pitch Black's pretty
also,
good.
Pitch Black's
Chronicles
cool.
of Riddick is pretty cool too.
No, it's not.
That movie ends with him like time traveling a knife into some dude's head. Like that's so cool.
Wasn't the
Yeah.
fire planet called Crematoria?
I mean,
Is this just the episode of terribly named things? There's Unobtainium and Crematoria.
there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in that movie. Too. But it's pretty cool.
Necromungos.
It's like they just found some 20-year-old aspiring heavy metal singer.
Yeah.
No,
And said,
dude.
you name everything.
It is straight up like a young adult writer saw a cover for a heavy metal album and was like, "This is my universe."
Oh man.
Yeah, there's been some terrible license stuff. Do you guys remember Real Steel?
Oh, yeah.
The
movie?
Shaq.
Is there a game?
No.
Is that Shaq?
No, that was just Steel.
That was Hugh. That was Steel.
Hugh
yeah.
Jackman.
Hugh Jackman
Boxer.
put
Retired
a washed-up boxer who builds Rock'em Sock'em robots.
Oh, and
to
that
fight in the
had
ring.
remember that had the Xbox 720 banner in it.
Yeah.
Before,
Wow.
remember that?
So, like, illustrating the whole point about taking whatever frame of a game you have and throwing a license on it, the same company who did that, which the name escapes me, it's not Jaeger, but I think it is something like that.
That's Pacific Rim.
It's the exact same company. They took Real Steel essentially and then made Pacific Rim with
What?
it. Yeah.
Oh, no way.
So they came out a couple years apart, but it's essentially the same game
File save as.
with different licenses on it, and they're both terrible. They're both so bad. But this was all like during that time of like middleware, right? Before that fell out of the industry, where you just have these budget stuff on like XBLA or the XBLA marketplace. Like the Watchmen had a game.
You're totally right. To bring it full circle, what I'm saying is that there's hope for the Avatar game yet. It might be cool.
Yeah, I mean, because clearly Ubisoft is putting a lot of money into this
Sure.
game.
Totally.
So that's a good sign in the sense that that offers it a chance for it to be good. And not that low budget games can't be good, but it's the more money being put into a game, it does have generally, I think
affords
it's fair
you
to
some
say,
wiggle room.
Yes, better odds of success.
And also, Ubisoft's big AAA games generally aren't bad.
Yeah.
Like, most of them are, at the very least, good.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
They have a fairly good track record at this point.
And I'll be curious. I mean, Massive, like, say what you will about the division when it launched, but when I went out to Massive for the IGN first, like a year ago, I met those guys. They definitely know their stuff, and they know how to make a big open world. And
that's what I was going to say. They're really good with the open world.
Yeah, if I'm thinking of Pandora, I'm thinking it's going to be an open world where I can ride around on a dinosaur and, you know,
I bet there's going to be outposts.
Yeah.
I bet you're going to climb to something high, and then it's going to put things on your map.
There'll be a
big trees.
There'll be a creature in a cage, and if you shoot it, it comes out.
I'm going to skin something and make a cool avatar wallet.
There'll be a quest where you have to like seduce with your hair thingy a horse and ride around it.
Seduce a horse.
Hold on.
The less ponytail sex in this game, the better.
You just tapped into something,
Fewer
Marty.
ponytails.
I actually...
Shut up, Stannis.
We've seen Far Cry do some weird stuff. I would actually play Far Cry : Avatar.
Pandora, yeah.
Or Pandora, yeah. I think I would play that game.
Yeah, I mean, if Far Cry was the name of the skeleton that they used and then slotted in, IPs into it, that would be an interesting take on it.
That could work. All we're saying, Ubisoft, is that going to work?
That's what Clint Hawkins working on.
No, he's working on Splinter Cell Chaos Theory 2, damn it. I'm taking that one to the grave. I obviously
You will be taking that one to the grave.
Yeah, I will die before that happens, probably. All right. Next up this week, a couple more stories. New game got announced. That doesn't often happen at this time of year, especially when that same game is out in 2 months. The game is called Raid World War II. And it is a co-op first-person shooter that will see players battle and rob their way through occupied Europe.
Like a
Which
reverse
side of the World War II
like a reverse Monument Man kind of situation.
Quote, the goal in Raid World War II is simple: sabotage, assassinate, and pulverize everything bearing a swastika, mess with Hitler, and steal his treasures.
Mess with Hitler, that little scamp.
Raid World War II's 4 heroes who hail from Great Britain, USA, Germany, and the Soviet Union will be customizable, as will the game's weapons. The class-based gameplay, recon, assault, insurgent, or demolitions, will also cater for a variety of preferred playstyles. Does that sound familiar to anyone, that template?
A little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit.
It should.
Yeah.
There's a good reason.
Why is that?
What does it remind you of?
Little game called PayDay by the same studio.
Yes, it is. Starbreeze is developing Raid World War II, and they also developed PayDay, which is obviously hugely popular, hugely successful. Appears to be the very template swap we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
I mean, World War II's back in a big way.
It is. It is.
Mess with Hitler. I'm still reading the
mess with Hitler.
Like you come up and you just smack him on the back of the head.
It's
hey,
like an episode.
It's
an episode of Three Stooges with Hitler, Mussolini.
Shoot it with a spitball from across the room.
Just, who put this whoopee cushion under the Führer's chair? Oh God.
Mein Butt.
Oh man.
Mein Butt.
Steer out of here. Okay. It's definitely a game that exists.
Yeah, so Raid World, it's out on October 10th, if you're interested.
Yeah, man, announcing a game 2 months, a month and a half before it's released.
I mean, good on them. We've always wanted developers to do that instead of like announcing their game and you can play this in 2020.
In 3 years. That happens still far too often. But yeah, I mean, hey, it's PayDay. PayDay is well loved. It's the same developer. If they sort of take the right tone and the gameplay elements are interesting, it could be fun. I mean, October's a tough as nails time to ship a game like this, I think. But
But at the same time, this developer has had success releasing like games to not a lot of fanfare, but then cultivating a very strong following on Steam, and then it just builds slowly over time. Like I remember, I believe it was the first PayDay. Or it was PayDay 2 that released that I went and played at a preview event, and I thought it was really cool. And then like I didn't think about it for a long time after that. I captured the direct feed. Actually, it might have been you and me who went to that thing a long time ago.
Sounds about right.
And then like a year later, I read that it was like one of the highest played games on Steam, and I was like, wow, good for them, because I did not expect that.
You're absolutely right. That's a great point. They cultivate this PC sort of Steam community, and those games have a long tail for it. So if they take the same approach for this, I mean, I could see it doing well. It doesn't have to sell 20 million copies for it to be successful.
Absolutely.
All right. Finishing up this week, Marty Sleva.
Yes. I'm very excited.
This is near and dear to your heart. And this is great. I know I tend to crap on remasters in general, but there are always exceptions
to the rule.
And this one is very much old enough.
Yep.
And in this case, it's bringing the game to an entire new audience who never got to see it before.
Yeah, so according to Kotaku UK, Okami HD is coming to Xbox One and PS4 on December 10th.
12th is what I have
12th.
here from our IGN story.
Which is super exciting because Okami was one of the last great games on the PS2, and then it got an HD version on PS3,
which is where I played
but
it.
never came to 360, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and
correct.
so this coming out, on Xbox One, I think would be incredible because this is Okami's. For those of you who don't know, it was Platinum, so it was Kamiya who ended up doing Bayonetta, Beautiful Joe, Wonderful 101. Scalebound.
Sorry.
Yes.
Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, Resident Evil 2, yeah. And I don't, to me, it's one of the best Zelda games ever made. I mean, just
Oh, yeah?
I think for a lot of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
It has that giant open world sort of Zelda vibe, but with this gorgeous, painterly sort of Japanese mythology aesthetic to it.
Real tough opening to the game.
Yes.
Tutorials.
Yeah, a lot of them,
Yeah.
which is sort of a Zelda problem as in a whole. But this game's awesome and definitely fills a void that you don't have a lot of Zelda likes on Xbox One.
It was really interesting when the game released. Originally, correct me if I'm wrong. This was a Wii thing, right? And it made use of.
it also came out on Wii. So it
Yeah.
was PS2 and then it was released on Wii.
Yeah,
the
that's
Wii
what I
version
was
was the one
thinking
that
of.
had the
paintbrush motion.
no, it had the
control
IGN
stuff, right?
watermark on the box.
What?
They used the IGN image
That is amazing.
of the cover. Like they released the cover image, we put it on IGN, and it had the watermark, and then someone grabbed that and used that. So the cover of the game has an IGN
I have to
watermark.
find this. As soon as this is over, I'm going to go look that in.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
That's
and utilize the waggle. But the game was originally for PS2. Definitely is totally fine with just analog sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I remember that being like a big marketing ploy for the Wii, like use your Wii mode as a paintbrush in this game, and then the game looks really awesome. But I'm like, I could do without the Wii
And I
mode.
think in the
paintbrush
original
thing.
or in the PS3 version, the assets were like 4K, and so I think this game was almost like 4K capable. It was like 4K ready on PS3, and so now I think by porting it over, I think it's going to be
Really?
gorgeous. I think
You
so.
better
Caleb and I were
check you're recording live right now. I
well,
remind
I mean,
you.
it's not live. There's something. Caleb and I were
It's
talking
as
about
good
this
as
earlier.
live because we're not going to edit it later.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
You're going to hang you out to
Well,
dry on
there's
this
something
one.
about the assets.
Something
Something about the assets.
I mean, I've never played it, but it sounds great.
It's
But
awesome.
Is it like hand animated or is it like? Was it close to 4K because they were just drawing it back?
It's like paint, like watercolor cell shaded.
painterly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's beautiful for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Cool.
Think like kind of like an older, more 2D-ish version of Child of Light or something like
Oh,
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you speak my language right
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game's great.
Wow, excellent. So put that on your calendar, your wish list for December. That'll be after you've spent all your money this
Yeah.
fall. Try to save. I mean, I imagine this will
It'll be
probably be like a
$20.
$20
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. So, all right, Brandon Tyrell.
Hey, what's
guest
up?
of honor. What can we spend? What else can we spend our money on right now?
Right now, if you want to spend your money on retail, you can't because it's a big fat goose egg. There's nothing on retail.
Unless you buy one of the. How expensive is that Sonic Mania collector's
God.
thing?
Oh, the thing that Darwish had
$200?
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
that's
so.
expensive.
Big giant statue.
Yeah, on top of like a
What's
Mega
the
Drive.
statue
On top
of,
of
though?
that.
Sonic on top of a Mega Drive, and you can hit a button and go Sega.
Sold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Big Sonic guy over here.
Yeah.
I was a Sega kid.
Apparently, Sonic Mania is good.
Yeah.
We get an 8.7.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sonic Mania, you can find it digitally for $20. You can also get Jump, Step, Step.
What?
Jump, Step, Step for $8 digitally. Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 is also a $20 bill.
Cool.
And then Marketplace, you have playable demos of NBA Live 18 and Surf World Series.
So Live
Did you get to play
18?
Live?
Yeah, I went to EA and played it. I'm not saying it's a 2K killer yet, but it's. I mean,
Not
to be
a
honest,
disaster like the
I
last
went
one.
in with very low expectations, which that series has set for itself. Unfortunately, it skipped last year, and the last couple of versions that did ship were not great, but it felt pretty good. It's like there's some good mechanics in there, some good game modes. We talked a couple weeks ago. They've got the WNBA going in, which is fantastic.
awesome.
From both a equality perspective and just a gameplay perspective, it'll be effectively a different game mode because the women's game just plays differently. So it's a pretty comprehensive demo.
Are they including the story mode that they started a
Yes,
couple years ago again?
That's that you can play a chunk of that in the demo.
cool. I mean, they brought it to Madden. It seems like it's
Seems
working for them.
The new EA thing.
Yeah.
They started with FIFA,
Yeah.
And that seemed to be received very well. And now Madden has the long shot mode, and NBA Live. It's called the One.
The One.
The One.
Got it.
Starring Jet
So
Li.
you become
Starring
you become Neo at the end.
I rewatched that movie recently.
The One?
Yeah.
Why?
Pretty cool, man.
Doesn't it end with like he fights like
it ends
1,000
in
of
the most-
himself with like "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor," some
Yeah.
trash song playing?
yeah. That's exactly.
Yeah.
You are exactly right.
This 2000s?
Oh yeah.
Sounds about
This
right.
is oh my god, it's so emblematic of like early 2000s action movies.
Butt rock.
Yeah, it's really
And every fight scene is Jet Li fighting Jet Li.
yeah. That's the oh my god.
They
Like
saved
it
a ton on
sounds so
casting.
funny, but it's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like there's like a surfer version of Jet Li.
It's a really dumb movie.
There's it's really
All right. Your August games with gold are Slime Rancher from the 1st to the 31st on Xbox One. Trials Fusion, which is an awesome motorcycle puzzle game if you haven't played it. August 16th to September 15th.
Possibly now, depending when you're
Yeah,
hearing this.
When you're hearing
It's-
this, yeah, on the Xbox One. Bayonetta, August 1st to the 15th.
Last chance
on the 360 and Xbox One. Yeah, last chance for that one. And then Red Faction Armageddon from August 16th through the 31st, presumably.
Yes. Just stop it.
Every week,
Shut up.
whoever's reading it, because it says just
16th.
in case you haven't known, in the last 3 weeks, the reason people stumble over it is just because it says August 16th to 3.
Yeah.
It's just the one is left off. It trips everyone
I
up.
know, it's just like
great.
So that's either August
figure.
16th through the 30th, the 31st, or September 3rd on the Xbox 360
Shut up.
and Xbox One.
I hate you. You put the show together next time.
Hey, you do a lot of work.
All right. Let's now segue quickly to Unlock Block Trivia. Destin's not here. Chance for you to really just punch him in the ego kidney on this one, Marty.
Wow. The ego kidney.
Yeah, the ego
Do
kidney.
you have 2 of those?
The most important of all the kidneys.
The id, the ego,
He'll
the
be-
super ego.
He'll be ego peeing blood
Yeah.
for a week if you can nail this one. Because you are currently up by 4 points,
Oh.
which is a lot. That's a month's worth of points, and we're into August already.
You're
So,
untouchable.
our question this week comes to us from Justin, who writes in, and we've got film. I don't want to say critic. You're not a critic, but film
Film enjoyer.
film guy,
film enthusiast.
There you go.
Child of cinema.
Yes, the Shark Man here. So this one's works out that you're here for this. Let's see if you get it right. Justin writes in, says, in Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, that would be a Tom Cruise film, the character Benji, played by Simon Pegg, is seen playing an Xbox One game in his office while at work. What game was he playing in that movie? Was it Halo 5, Gears of War Ultimate, Rise of the Tomb Raider, or Assassin's Creed Syndicate? I'm going to go to Brandon first.
Great, thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Because Sean said he knew it, so
Yeah,
you can't
go to
first.
the guy that's never seen Rogue Nation. So I'm just gonna guess that it's one of the 2 Xbox exclusives on the list, and I'm gonna say it's probably Halo 5 Guardians.
Rise of the Tomb Raider may have been exclusive at the time this film was released.
That's true. That's true.
Semantic
But you're going which
argument
way?
about what
I'm gonna go Halo.
is.
Halo 5
Okay.
Guardians.
Marty?
I don't think Halo 5 was out when this movie came out. So I'm
I
going
would
to go
like
with
to
Gears.
change my
Ultimate.
answer to Gears.
All right. Shark?
I might be wrong, though.
It is Halo 5.
Oh, dang!
Yes.
knew it.
The character of Benji is introduced while he's sitting. He works for the CIA at this point because the IMF has been like dismantled, and the camera lands on him. He's listening to classical music, playing Halo 5 in the middle in this sea of like giant servers and people walking around. And he spots his manager coming behind him in a mirror, and then he like quickly throws away his Xbox controller, hits his monitor, and it switches over to like work stuff. And he's just like, I was not playing Halo 5.
That is correct. It is, in fact.
That'd have been really funny at the end of it, and Ryan's like, you are wrong.
Actually-
It's Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
I don't know what movie you
I just
were
had a
watching.
fever dream.
That's not his job in the film. He was leisurely playing it at home on his sofa.
All right. Well, good job, Sean. Good job, Brandon.
Thanks.
Did I not do a good job?
No.
No, I did a bad job.
No.
I had one job, and I did not do it.
If you would like to try and stump the panel here and maybe make Destin's life a little worse, you can send your Xbox trivia question. Include 4 multiple choice answers. Please note the correct one in your email. And the email address is unlocked@ign.com. Let's hit the road and start prepping for Gamescom. That is coming up right around the corner.
Oh, so close.
It is very close. We'll have a few folks over there. Andrew Goldfarb on his way over. Destin's going.
Destin's
So
going.
he will be there. I wonder if he'll get to play Crackdown 3 and brag about it again. I guess we'll find out in about a week's time. In the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. I don't think anything else is really going on with me. Nothing that's on the website now. Sean, what are you up to?
You can follow me on Twitter at Shot by Finnegan. I'm currently producing and shooting the IGN show, which airs on Disney XD, DXP, 9 p.m. every weekday. We're back at it.
9
we
p.m.
took a
Eastern,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah. Or is it, no, it's that thing where it's Eastern and Pacific?
No, it's 9 p.m.
Don't
everywhere.
actually know.
Okay, thank you.
So wherever you are,
Thank you
it's
for
9 p.m.
clarifying.
So check your local listings is this phrase that we say on TV.
No, it's 9 p.m. across the country. So the East Coast gets it 3 hours before.
Glad you know more about it than I do.
Turn on Disney XD at 9 p.m. wherever you are.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm working on that. We took a little 2-week hiatus during the Comic-Con area, but we're back, so check that out.
God, you guys are so lazy. You work for 2 weeks and then you take 2 weeks off.
It's so easy to generate 21 minutes of content 5 times a week.
What are you talking about? We babble on here. We babble on these podcasts.
Yeah,
we
who
just
needs
did
a
2
script?
episodes.
We just
this is over
knocked
2
out an
episodes of
hour.
the Disney show.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Throw it on TV.
We talked about Nazis for a while. We probably can't.
Yeah.
Probably not good. We talked about Nazis.
No,
on the
that
show.
was fine. It was
With all the World War II games.
that was
Yeah.
Starbreeze's fault.
Okay.
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Nazis are their fault.
Brendan Tyrell.
Hey, you can find me on Twitter at my name, Brandon Tyrell. Lately, I've been
Of House Tyrell.
no longer. They're gone, man.
Oh, dang.
My people.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Whatever,
You're gonna get
everyone's
some
going to be
angry
gone by the end of that
Yeah,
show.
if you haven't watched season 7 yet, I apologize. Yeah, I've been working on Assassin's Creed IGN First. If you haven't checked that out, go to go.ign.com/AC Origins. We've put up a few pieces of content
new
so far.
mission, probably the best one so far is as far as like things you just should watch is like the whole combat system is
Yeah.
totally revamped.
Absolutely.
And we've got the video about
Built
that.
from the ground up. We went out to Montreal, interviewed a bunch of people about the game, what they're changing, why they're changing it, and everything you need to know about it. So check that out for sure.
Cool.
That's about it for my end.
Groovy.
And we just put up a piece about the lead character's bird girlfriend.
Piece went up just
Are
today.
they dating? Him and the bird?
I don't know. It's complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, Bayek and Senu piece just went up today. So.
Ooh.
By a consent.
Ooh. Senu, swipe right.
Oh God.
We were joking. The lead character of the game is not dating a bird.
That we know of.
That's what is it with you?
Although if he was, it'd be
you love
totally
Banjo
okay.
Kazooie? Are they dating too? You got the man bird.
They're lovers.
They're
or
just friends.
bear bird relationship. Oh man. Let's hit the road. So again, quick reminder: join us for the little pre-show we're gonna do with our Gamescom predictions, and then immediately, like 5 minutes later, you will find out how wrong we inevitably got everything. So, like I said, about 15-20 minutes early. So maybe call it 11:45 Pacific on Sunday or 2:45 p.m. Eastern. We will have Gamescom predictions for you, then the Xbox briefing, and then I will be around because it's the weekend. I'll be here to help make sense of all of it.
Hot takes.
Hot takes. It's my specialty.
Delicious.
So for the Shark, Sean Finnegan, Brandon Tyrell, and Marty Sleva, I'm Ryan McCaffrey. This was Unlocked 3.0, man. Which one was this one?
3.0 man.
309. That's a lot. But we're just getting started. So we'll see you guys after Gamescom next week.